Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Bibbidi Bobbidi Blondes. Today's episode is very special because we are talking about my birthday trip.
Yay! Carter, how many days until your birthday?
My birthday is next Friday, but there's only like 5 days until my birthday trip. So it's very soon. Very excited.
Both of those things are in my calendar, by the way. Your birthday and your
I feel so loved. This will actually be. Oh, did you say I am loved? Stop.
You are loved.
I would be you.
Oh my gosh, love it, love you.
Love you. This will actually like be uploaded when I'm in Disneyland, right?
Yes, it will. It sure will.
This.
I'm gonna miss you. For those who don't know, Carter and I are just talking to each other 24/7. We are a little bit codependent. And I know you're gonna message me. You said you would, but like I don't want to disturb you on your birthday trip. You're gonna be so busy. And that's kind of what we're gonna be talking about today is the differences between Disneyland and Disney World, which of us prefers Disneyland and which of us prefers Disney World. We're going to talk about that, obviously. First, three things of note. The first, Disney news. We always have some Disney news at the beginning of our podcast. Today's Disney news is that the Disney World Food and Wine Festival dates have been released. It is going to be for 2023, July 27th through November 18th. That entire time, you will be able to experience the Food and Wine Festival that is in Epcot every year. They have booths from different countries with different bites and drinks, and it's really fun. And that leads me into my second point of news. Tyler, my husband, and I just booked his very first Disney World trip. We will be staying at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge with the Savannah View room.
With the giraffes.
Savannah for Savannah. What's really cool about the Animal Kingdom Lodge, I like that you liked it so much.
I loved that.
Thank you. The Animal Kingdom Lodge is really cool because they have animals that are actually on the property of the resort, and the Savannah View rooms allows you to see animals right from your balcony. So we'll be able to see things like giraffes, wildebeest, antelopes, zebras, all that kind of stuff.
And it's not like you're at like a zoo. Like it's literally like you open your balcony doors and see a giraffe. Like it's very surreal.
It doesn't look like an exhibit, I would say.
No, it looks like
it's like you're opening, your doors to an African savanna, and that you get to see the animals that are out there. It's really cool. So we are super duper excited. And then lastly, we have a guest joining us today.
We do have a very special guest.
Everyone, this is Sadie, the light of my life. And my husband knows that she is the light of my life, and that's okay. Sadie, Moogie Moogie, Sadie, girlfriend. Say hi to our audience, man. Your baby. baby. So she's here with us today. Oh.
Look at the face.
We are big dog fans here. So if you ever hear barking in the background, it's either Carter's sweet baby Winnie, Zoe, or Sadie. And then last thing I realized, because I was listening to our first episode, which launched, we're filming it this episode on the 13th. So our first episode got published last night. And I realized, I said, I have 2 fur babies. I have 3. I have a cat. Insert picture of Ollie. He gets forgotten. He gets forgotten sometimes. So we have 2 dogs and a cat, which those who I guess knew me growing up might think it's weird that I have a cat. I'm not a cat gal. I love that man. He's the sweetest old man. We literally adopted him when he was 8. He was already old when we got him. But anyway, I just had to correct that because Tyler said Ollie would be offended. So Carter.
Yes.
First things first. You are going to Disneyland for your birthday. Are you so excited? We love it. We love it. We love it. So tell us about your trip. Where are you staying? How many days are you in the parks? Give us a look at what you're going to be experiencing.
Okay, so we fly out at a bright and early 5:45 a.m. on Tuesday.
No.
Yes. So gonna be getting up really early. And we have a pretty long travel day because of the time change and all that. So we're not getting to California to Anaheim until like 2:30 Anaheim time. Yeah, so it's a long day, but
Wow.
we're getting there. We are meeting my best friend from college, Olivia.
I was about to say, you need to have a little indent after that. Best friend from college. From college. I'm here too.
You
Anyway.
you are here. Yes. Yes.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Olivia sounds great.
You guys would get along so well.
I'm sure.
Swimmingly. And we're gonna go to Disney too.
Right.
Yeah, me
Oh, obviously that has to happen. We got to do a whole, I mean, you and I have talked about this. We have to do a Bibbidi Bobbidi Blondes trip.
Live from Castaway Key.
Live from Castaway Key.
That's the dream.
Oh, gosh, can you imagine?
So we're meeting Olivia there.
Yes.
And Olivia has never been to Disneyland.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it'll
Has she been to Disney World?
Yes, she was actually
okay.
at Disney World in the Disney College program. So she's a Disney World pro. But she's never been to California to Disneyland. And me and my husband Zach have only been once. However, I feel very connected to it and I feel I love it. So anyways, we're staying at Paradise Pier, which will soon be Pixar Pier.
Yes.
So I can definitely provide some construction updates and how it is like, staying there. We're not going to be in the hotel very much, so I'm not concerned about it.
Right.
But I've heard that it's honestly great because
I've heard really good things. And there's only 3 Disneyland hotels that are specifically Disney, whereas Disney World has 20 plus, correct?
I think so. I think it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but Disneyland has 3, which is the Paradise Pier, soon to be Pixar Pier, Disneyland Hotel, and Disney's Grand Californian. Grand Californian is deluxe. Disneyland Hotel is considered a moderate, I would say. And then Pixar Pier, currently Paradise Pier is it value, I guess, or it seems like a mix between value and moderate.
I think the price point is not equivalent of a value. Like the
price.
Oh
no, it's still more expensive.
Yeah, but out of the 3, it's the most affordable. Yes. But it's not like compared to an All-Star or a Pop Century. I would say it's definitely a moderate level. Like
pricing, right? Because I mean, All-Star is anywhere from 100 to 250 a night, whereas the Paradise Pier, I feel like
in the 400s.
Yeah, so significantly more than Disneyland. But I will say, typically people aren't at Disneyland as long as Disney World. How long are you guys going to be there?
We're going to be there until we check out on Saturday. So we have 3 days in the park, full days in the park. Amazing. So we'll be there Tuesday through Saturday. We have the park hopper. So we're going to be back and forth between the parks for 3 days. The goal is to be there as much as humanly possible. So when the parks open, I will be there. And when they close, I will still be there the whole time.
And does park hopping work the same at Disneyland as it does Disney World?
Look at you. Look at your question.
I know that we know this, but I know our audience doesn't. So I wanted to give them a little information.
I feel like I'm being interviewed. I feel like
you're a star. We're famous.
I feel like Sharpay, star.
We love Sharpay here. The original Bibbidi Bobbidi blonde.
Listen, she is.
She is.
If you ever listen, side note, if Ashley Tisdale were to ever see this, I just need her to know that
she's our dream guest.
I love her and she's the dream guest. If I could meet a female celebrity, she's number 1.
100%.
She's number 1. Like she's and Taylor Swift, but like
you know that we're big. Obviously, if you couldn't tell, we're big Swifties, which I feel like is pretty on brand. But other than Taylor, we are big Ashley Tisdale stands here.
I use her like skincare, being Frenchie. Yes.
Love it.
Top tier. Anyways, that was my side rant that I love Ashley Tisdale and Sharpay Evans. So
Same. We needed that to be noted on the record.
Yeah, so noted on April 13th that Ashley Tisdale is our dream celebrity guest.
It's, you know what? Speak it into existence. It's gonna happen.
Exactly. I feel it in my bones. Ashley Tisdale.
I
So
love
anyway, what were we talking about? Park hopping?
Oh no, I don't remember. Okay, no.
Hopping, right?
Disneyland. Oh Lord. How did we even bring up Sharpay?
I said I feel like I'm a star. I feel like I'm Sharpay, and you were like,
Oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, we're famous.
you were talking about park hopping.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That's right. Park hopping. So, because at Disney World, you can park hop after 2 p.m. So you have to make a park pass reservation beforehand for the first park you're going to be visiting that day. And then after 2 p.m., you can go to any of the other Disney World parks. I want to emphasize that because people sometimes are like, oh, so I can go to Universal. I'm like, if you have a ticket,
you bought admission.
But you're allowed to go to the other 3 Disney World parks. So
reservation.
Is that similar?
It is. You still make a park reservation for your starting park of choice, but at 11 a.m. you're able to park hop. And if you have never been to Disneyland, the parks are literally right across the street from each other. There's a big like plaza, and on one side is Disneyland and one side is California Adventure. So when you park hop, you literally just
It's so convenient. You literally can see it.
So if you look at a map, I'll put a map right here. And you see all of downtown Disney. So the big hotel that has like the green roof, that is the Grand Californian, and that is the hotel that like looks directly into DCA, California Adventure, which we will refer to it as DCA because it's easier.
It's easier.
But you can actually walk downstairs like from your hotel room into the park. Like there's an entrance and everything. So it's right on property. The Disneyland Hotel is at the very back of downtown Disney. So if you see like Trader Sam's, and you'll see like the big like monorail slide, and the monorail kind of, it doesn't go through it or anything, but it goes like to kind of the back of it. And that's the Disneyland Hotel. And then if you cross the street, that's Paradise Pier. So it's technically on property because like Disney obviously owns the property, but it's not like, oh, I'm walking into Disneyland. Like you still have to walk kind of down and around and stuff. So
so you can walk though, which is great for those who might not want. How long of a walk would it be, would you say, from Paradise Pier
to like the entrance or to just downtown Disney?
I would say to the entrance, to the plaza where the 2 parks are.
Like maybe 10
Oh, that's doable.
Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. It's literally just, you can see like down into California Adventure from Paradise Pier. You just have to cross the street. Yeah. So
it's all through the Disney resorts you can walk.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes. Well, easy. Yeah. And if you decide, and so if you stay at Walt Disney World in Florida, staying off site is not as common. It's people do it, but it's not as common because Disney World is so big and there's so many places and hotels, and
there's so many Disney resort options on property, and especially at different price points, that it doesn't make sense to stay off property. So for example, Disney World resorts provide bus transportation to and from all Disney parks to your resort. So for example, if there is a Good Neighbor hotel, which means that you can do the package through the Disney website or through us and still stay, off property. But a lot of times they don't provide the transportation, or they do have transportation $10 each way per person. So then it adds up and it ends up being more expensive or similar price point to if you stayed on property, but you don't get the benefits. So Disney World, I 10 out of 10 times recommend staying on property. However, with Disneyland, because even the most budget-friendly option is still very expensive, it is more common to stay off property.
And the benefits are a little bit different because most of Disneyland's guests are locals. So they're coming for a day or 2 days and then, multiple times a year or whatever. And it's not as heavily catered to people like going to Anaheim on a vacation, whereas Disney World is like, you're coming here for a week on
Right.
vacation. So for Disneyland hotels, the biggest perk, besides obviously my favorite thing ever, being in the Disney bubble and never leaving, is the 30 minutes of early entry in the morning. But that's really like the biggest perk. And
The biggest perk,
yeah. And you can go through bag check before you get to the front gate. So you can get into the parks a little bit easier. But ultimately, that is the big kind of, I guess, player in why you would decide to stay on or off site. But I've stayed off site at Disneyland before. We stayed at the Anaheim Marriott last time we went, and we
like that.
it was good. The hotel was great. It was at the convention center, so it was about a 20-minute walk, 15, 20
that's not bad.
We ended up taking the Anaheim regional transit bus, which I was scared of it, to be honest, because I didn't know what it was.
Public transportation,
but it really was like a bus that had a specific route, and it ran all day long, and it picked up at like 5 hotels and then dropped off at Disneyland and just did a circle like all day.
So even though it's through the city, it's technically like it's for Disney. Exactly. Okay, well, that makes me feel better, because I've only been to Disney's California Adventure one time, and I've never been to Disneyland in the Disneyland park. And when I went, I was visiting. I know I need to go, especially because we've mentioned before our love of Marvel, and my husband and we have seen all but 2 Marvel movies in theaters the day they released.
Oh, I thought you were about to say like in general, and I was like, well, me too.
Well, no. I meant in theaters. The only movies we go to the theaters for are Marvel. We don't see other movies in theaters. So we're really big Marvel fans. And one of the biggest pluses of Disneyland and DCA over Disney World, I would say, is they have Avengers Campus. And Disney World doesn't have that.
Say more.
I know. I need to go. I'm literally so jealous. So Carter, obviously you are the Disneyland expert out of the 2 of us. Tell us a little bit about the attractions that are offered there versus ones that Disney World doesn't have.
So Disneyland, I'm going to break out my nerdiness for a minute.
We love it.
Yeah, so obviously we're Disney nerds, but
you don't do a podcast about the Disney destinations without being Disney nerds. Literally. Oh, also side note, for those that don't know, if you can't see, this is a watercolor painting of the like symbols of the 4 parks. So we have Cinderella's castle, we have the Tower of Terror, we have Spaceship Earth, and we have the Tree of Life. And then this is a watercolor of Castaway Cay with a Disney cruise ship and Wally, because I love Wally. My husband gave it to me. And fun fact, he thought this was Eva. It's Baymax, who I also love, but Tyler got it and was like, oh, it's us. And I was like, no. But it was so sweet. I had to keep it. But anyway, yes, obviously we're Disney.
And you're the Disney Cruise Line expert. So when we have a Cruise Line episode, like this is going to be
Carter, I have had some big moments in my life.
Yeah.
My wedding day, the day that Tyler and I have a kid.
Yes.
Which we don't yet. No, not yet.
Yeah, but
I need a little more traveling first. But I think one of the best days of my life will be the day that we go on a Disney cruise together, because you've never been on one.
I've been on.
It's my favorite thing.
I've been on one when I was 8.
That's right. But you don't really remember it.
No, I was 8, and it was 4 nights, and it was great. From like I remember the pictures a lot. I remember parts of it. And I remember it being great. And I remember Castaway Cay. I rode bikes
a ton out of time.
Tower and like climbed up the stairs.
My literal favorite place in the world was Castaway Cay. I could live there.
One day. It's gonna be.
We're gonna, you know what? And you know what? The podcast could sponsor it.
There we
We
go.
could literally do an episode live from the ship.
I know.
Well, not live because the Wi-Fi is not great. But
record it.
record it on the ship. So
I like it.
speaking it into existence. So that's my favorite Disney vacation, but Disneyland is Carter's.
That is mine. And I know that that is a hot take. A lot of people prefer Disney World, but I feel like for me, there's several reasons why I just feel love in my heart for it. And I feel like one is that my husband, Zach, we had never been to Disneyland. I had been to Disney World countless times growing up in my life. He had been a few times, but when we got married, we were like, we're going to go to Disneyland. And we went and we spent 5 days in the park, which is that not many.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's not normal. And because I didn't know, like I was like, oh, it's like Disney World. You have
to have 5 days.
5 days. And so because we went for so long, we got to just like explore everything and just like go and experience for the first time like together. So for me, it was just like a really special experience and a special vacation. And Zach's favorite movie of all time is Cars, and in California Adventure they have Cars Land, and so he was like a kid in a candy store, and it was really sweet to watch him react to Cars Land and riding Radiator Springs Racers. And so like I think a lot of it is like personal experience why I like it and why I like it better, even though I feel like Disney World is like my home, like I'm like, this is like my home, I'm comfortable here. Disneyland is like, this is
something new.
Yes. And it's like, and it's special, and we're not going to get to go every year. We're not going to get to go all the time. Like it's like a separate, I don't know.
Even more special.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Disney cruises for me. So yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Personally, I prefer Disney World. It has 4 parks versus 2.
Yeah.
They are much bigger. Also, fun fact, we learned this on our company trip. The entirety of Disneyland can fit inside of Magic Kingdom's parking lot.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So personally, there's more to see, there's more to do, and it's home. So that's why I like Disney World better. However, I respect that you like Disneyland better.
Well, and I also feel like when I was talking about the nerdy thing, that like watching and knowing about Walt Disney and his dreams and what he wanted to accomplish, walking down Main Street in Disneyland, knowing that like Walt actually did this, like this is his apartment where he stayed, this was what his dream was, the Jungle Cruise and Disneyland was like what he worked on, and like his actual like obviously Disney World is still his, like was his dream,
right? But he passed before he could work on it, so Disneyland is quite literally Walt's vision.
Yeah.
So I can really appreciate that. Now I want to go.
I'm such a nerd, but I'm also a baby. And when we walked in, like I started crying. I was like, I can't believe, because you see it, because I feel like it's like you see it so much on TV and in documentaries. And when he's standing in front of the castle and he's like, to all who come to this happy place, welcome. And it's like, wait, like we're actually here. It's not just something that they built later on. Like this is really, so anyway, that's my nerdy reason why
that is so cute. And this is why we're friends. Literally every time I go back to Disney World, walk down Main Street for the first time, see the castle, I cry. Main Street is also my favorite part.
Yes.
It is so darn cute. It makes me feel home. That's where my beloved Mickey apples are. The Mickey apples are the thing I always have to get and bring home.
Yes.
So good.
I think they kind of talked about it a little bit last time, but we both said like our genuine favorite place in the Disney parks is Main Street, USA. Like that's
my gosh.
Part. Yeah.
Because it's so happy and it's welcoming you back into the world of Disney. You walk down, they have the cute little shops, they have the bakery, it smells so good on Main Street. You have a great view of the castle. You got Adventureland to your left, you got Tomorrowland to your right. And it's just a good time. I literally just got butterflies. It's also probably because I haven't eaten today and I didn't eat last night. I'm the worst. Anyway, So that being said, I personally have some questions of what you're most excited for. So what dining, because we all know we've talked about this before, and I believe that's the next episode we're going to be publishing about the Disney dining, and our favorite Disney dining restaurants, things like that. But what reservations do you and Zach have? What snacks are you most excited for? You know I'm a big foodie, so tell me, let me live vicariously.
Perfect. Okay, so when we get there, we don't have reservations for Trader Sam's.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, you
but
can make reservations at Trader Sam's.
at Disneyland you can. But
What?
isn't that crazy?
Disney World, you cannot.
I know it's like a speakeasy in Disney World. You got to walk up at the right time and like
Oh, we love it.
but at Disneyland you can make reservations. However, because of the time change, we're gonna want to eat at like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock
Right.
instead of 8. So I'm not worried about that.
Okay, like
So
it.
we're gonna eat there. Hopefully, if not, then we're just gonna go and see it and then eat somewhere in downtown Disney. And we also have Oga's Cantina.
Love it.
Very excited. I have been there before.
At Disney World or Disneyland or both?
I've been to both.
Are they the same?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
they're the same. But I got the fuzzy tauntaun the first time.
Did you really?
It made my lips numb, and I know that's like the thing, but I hated it.
I hate that.
Hated it.
Like the same with like lip plumper.
Yeah, it made me feel like I was
No.
at the dentist. I hated
Oh
it.
no.
But Olivia was a cast member at Disney World, and she worked on Batuu, Galaxy's Edge. So I'm excited for her to see like all of the Star Wars stuff in California, because that was her home in Disney World for so long.
And is Galaxy's Edge the same in Disneyland as it is Disney World? So it looks very similar. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, pretty much identical. Like when we went, because the first time I saw Galaxy's Edge was in Disneyland, and then when we went to Disney World the following summer as a family and we saw it, I was like, oh yeah, this is the same. Like I've seen
it. You can do the same like lightsaber build, Salvi's lightsaber building workshop, droid building, all that great stuff. So I will say that is one of the great things about Disneyland and Disney World is they do share a lot of the like important things.
Yeah.
Like they both have Space Mountain. They both have obviously Galaxy's Edge. Main Street is the same. There's but Jungle Cruise in both. But I would say the biggest difference is going to be Avengers Campus and Cars Land.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, oh my gosh, for those who haven't seen Cars Land, it is, I mean, you really feel like you're in Radiator Springs. Yeah. I mean, especially at night with the neon lights. I'm guessing that's Zach's thing.
Oh, it's his face. Like I mean, I love it, but he will just like sit and he'll just sit under the lights. Take me to Avengers Campus and I will sit there. I'll sit in Avengers Campus and watch Steve Rogers meet and greet all day long. I will do that. I will watch the little show. I will watch Black Widow come out of the Quinjet and a queen. I'll watch her fight all the bad guys. Iron Man comes, like the music. Oh gosh.
Have you seen the Spider-Man thing where
yes, it's so cool. But another dining that we have that's not a reservation, but it's a quick service, is Pim's Test Kitchen.
Carter, when I tell you I'm dying to go to Pim's Test Kitchen.
Have you never been?
No. Because remember, we were talking about this before the podcast. I went to California Adventure like a month before they opened Avengers Campus. I was devastated, and I really want to go to Pim's Test Kitchen to try the sandwich. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The chicken or the peanut butter and jelly?
Wait, no, I'm pulling up both. I'm pulling up the menu for Pim's Test Kitchen.
My favorite is the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It is peanut butter, jelly, bananas, and candied bacon.
No.
Oh yeah, it is my favorite. It's so good. It's my favorite thing, and it comes with tater tots potato barrels.
Potato barrels, that's right.
And mini banana smoothie.
No. Okay.
So delicious. It is so delicious. So
if anyone's interested, I have the menu pulled up. They have breakfast.
I know. Yes.
Ever expanding Cinnapim toast.
I know. I literally know.
Oh my gosh, calculated breakfast.
Yes.
E times 2 plus there's a math equation. No, not me. Not for me. Um, oh, focaccia toast. Okay, wait, I'm looking at lunch and dinner now. Size to share. And that's one of the cool things about Pim's Test Kitchen. They have some things that are really big because the whole Pim company, they can shrink and expand things because Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Quantum pretzel, which is 453.8 grams of pretzel. Good Lord. Okay, so the one I want to try is the Pim Nini sandwich. It has salami, salma rosa with pistachio nuts, rosemary ham, provolone, sun-dried tomatoes on toasted focaccia. I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
Good Lord. That sounds so that's what I want to have.
That's probably, I'm really excited about that. We also have reservations at the Plaza Inn character breakfast on Main Street.
Cool. And what characters are there, Carter?
So they kind of rotate. It's I feel like the best way that I've found to describe it is if you remember 1900 Park Fair in the Grand Floridian, and how they would have breakfast and lunch, and it would kind of be like Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, the Mad Hatter, Mary Poppins, that kind of
Alice
thing.
in Wonderland, yeah.
Yes. So it's they kind of cycle through. When I did it last time, it was Tigger and Pooh Bear and like Donald and Daisy and Chip and Dale or something like that. That's a lot. So I don't know if there was that.
Cute.
It was like kind of us just maybe
Hodgepodge.
there too. Yeah, just
Yeah.
kind of like it's called Minnie and Friends, so it's like Minnie's friends.
Love it. 10 out of 10.
I love it. So excited about that. I'm excited for Flo's V8 Cafe, which is in
Love Flo's V8 Cafe.
Yeah. The food is not like at Pim's, I think the food
It's
is
genuinely good.
it's really, really good. Flo's, the food is good,
fine.
but it's more fun to just like eat and
The experience.
because
Right.
you're eating at
You're
Flo's.
Flo's Cafe.
So I'm excited to eat there. And then they have outside of the Incredicoaster, they have they have like the Jack cookie num
I was
num,
about to say Jack's Nom Nom Cookie.
but they have one called the Incredi cookie, and it's like a shortbread cookie with
Oh,
berry jam. 10 out of 10.
is that the gluten-free option? Very cool.
So that one's really good.
Yeah.
And on Pixar Pier, they also have the adorable snowman frosted treats.
Oh, I love honestly Pixar Pier 10 out of 10.
It's so good.
It's
like
so
it's so
cute.
good.
Because there's cute food booths, there's
Yes.
rides. It
It's
is
so good.
so cute. You want to know what my favorite part of Pixar Pier is?
Please tell me.
So, one of my favorite Disney characters that does not get enough love, if you've ever seen Finding Dory.
Yes.
In Pixar Pier, when you first walk on, there's a big mural of Gerald. And Gerald is my all-time favorite Pixar character. You didn't know that? Gerald is everything I want in a man.
Is he the sea lion?
What?
The sea lion?
He's a sea lion.
Okay.
And the other two sea lions are mean to him. They're like, Gerald, get off Gerald. And they won't let him on the rock. And in the end of the movie, he tricks them. They get off the rock and he's on the rock. He's like, he's everything I want in a man.
They do have a mural of
Stands up for what he believes in, which is that he deserves a space on the rock. He does not tolerate the bullies. Also love Becky, the bird.
the bird. Yes.
Becky. Roo, Becky.
I feel like Becky is like a distant cousin of Hey Hey from Moana.
Oh, 100%. It's canon. You know what? It's canon. Hey Hey
Yes.
and Becky are cousins. That's going to be the title of this podcast. Hey.
Becky, your cousin.
Hot take. But yeah, so I love Pixar Pier because you first walk in and there's Gerald. And every time I think of him, I hear in my mind the other sea lion going, Gerald, Gerald, and get off the rock, Gerald. It's so funny.
Did you eat at the frosted snowman? What
Of course I did. The abominable
that guy.
So cute from freaking Monsters Inc.
Yes.
The adorable snowman. He's so cute. And then also there's the churros. There is, they have the potato barrels there. I don't remember which one, but One of the food booths has potato barrels, and I love potato barrels. All right, now that we have discussed some things about Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure, we're going to talk specifically about rides and attractions at Disneyland or Disney's California Adventure that cannot be found at Disney World. So Carter, right off the bat, is there anything jumping out in your mind that you want to discuss?
There are a few. I think probably the biggest one, like that I immediately think of, is Indiana Jones. Um,
Okay.
that one is in Adventureland in Disneyland, but there's nothing even remotely, I guess you could say remotely similar would be Dinosaur
Dinosaur, Carter's favorite ride.
at Animal Kingdom. But I
It's really
think
just the vehicle that's the same,
yeah,
right?
it is. It's just the same ride vehicle, but it's so like the ride itself, I guess, could be kind of similar, but like the theme, the actual ride. I think the queue line is even really cool.
Tell us
Yeah.
about it, because I've never ridden it.
Well, so you're supposed to like enter an archaeological like digging site. So you're kind of going through and seeing all of like their ladders and everything. And then obviously because Indiana Jones, like when you pull on certain things or you press certain things, like spikes will come out of the ceiling, or, it's just like, it's like a fun queue
Right.
line. It's right next to the Jungle Cruise. So when you go on the Jungle Cruise, they actually point it out as like part of the Jungle Cruise ride, which obviously is not
Oh,
in
that's cool.
Disney World. So yeah, so like that's cool.
Yeah.
It's
Is
a
it
really
after one of the specific movies? So is it like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark or Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or something else?
No, it is its own thing. So I'm gonna mess up the name. I don't remember the exact name of what it's called, but it's like you can't. Oh, what'd you say?
I said I could look it up.
Yes, do it, do it. It's I think it's like the Forbidden Eye, maybe it might be the right one.
Ooh, that's
So yeah, so there's like a statue that you're not supposed to look into the eyes of Mara, and of course that is exactly what you do. So then like the temple basically like comes alive, and you and Indy are trying to escape.
so it is literally just called Indiana Jones Adventure, but this is the description. Follow Indy's footsteps into the crumbling temple of the Forbidden Eye. Good job, Carter.
Yeah.
Tyler and I, so fun fact, on Sundays we do movie night. We watch a movie, we alternate weeks. So one week will be a movie we've seen before and we want to watch again. And then the next week
Oh,
will be
I like that.
it'll be a movie we've never seen. And typically we'll order in takeout. We watch it in our basement movie room. I make popcorn, we'll get like movie theater candy. It is a wonderful tradition. It's cute, right? Not on the day we watched Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is absolutely terrifying. I literally got sick to my stomach watching it. I remember looking at Tyler, he's like, "You've seen this before," because he had never seen Indiana Jones, which is crazy in and of itself. But literally this man was like, "Are you okay? Do we need to stop?"
Yeah.
And we did. I had to stop watching it because
I don't like
I
it.
got so freaked out. The bugs, the heart thing,
Have
very bloody.
Have you ever seen the interview of Chris Evans when he's talking about his 4-year-old nephew, and his 4-year-old nephew says, "I don't like it." So then like he says it all the time. And so like in interviews, he'll just be like, I don't like it. That's what I
Literally me. No, I haven't, but now I'm gonna start saying that.
don't like it.
I don't like it. That's gonna be the title of this episode. I
I
don't
don't
like
like
it.
it.
No, I'm gonna start saying that because
Yeah.
as you and I were talking about earlier, I'm a baby. I'm the meme or TikTok or whatever. I'm just a baby. That's literally
That's you.
like I'm a 28-year-old married woman with a mortgage, but I'm just a baby.
Well, never fear. I think you would love Indiana Jones the ride. I think you would. I really do. I think if you, especially since you love dinosaur,
I love dinosaurs.
it'll be fine. And I have always wanted them. I know this is gonna be, you're not gonna like this, but I've always wanted them to, because Dino Land is now sad because they removed Primeval Whirl.
I didn't like that ride.
Yeah, but it's just kind of sad. I feel like they should do Indiana Jones as the dinosaur and then put like a different sort of like Jungle Cruise or Emperor's New Groove, something kind of ride.
First of all, 10 out of 10 Emperor's New Groove. Yes.
Yes.
Emperor's New Groove.
10 out of
But
10.
are you seriously insisting that they take away my beloved dinosaur?
Because you love it, I'm going to say no.
But that's what you were saying.
Yes.
Carter, no. Cleo. Cleo, no. A little insert here. Go watch H2O, Just Add Water. And then you'll understand why I've been saying no, Cleo this entire episode. Sorry about that. I get something in my head. I can't not think about it. So
That's really funny.
But anyway, Indiana Jones, 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, 10 out of 10. For sure, 10 out of 10. It was actually the first ride that we rode at Disneyland all together. So
Is it really?
that was because that was what I was most excited about going into my first trip was Indiana Jones.
Oh.
Yeah. So that one is probably number one. I think the other thing that I would add would be Fantasyland. Because number one, you can actually walk through Sleeping Beauty Castle and yeah, you can walk up into it and it like
into the castle, not just underneath it.
Yeah, you can go up in the castle and like go up the little like stairs and like the caverns, and it tells the story of Sleeping Beauty, who is my favorite. So
How did I literally not know this?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I thought it was just under the castle.
I have a video of like part of it and I'll put it in right here because it's
Please do.
It's
I've been to Disneyland Paris and you go under the castle.
Oh, with the dragon that's in there. Yes.
It's really cool.
I've never been. I know.
Also, yeah, I've been to Disneyland Paris. Like, who am I?
We'll have to talk about that.
No, but that is super cool. That you can walk up the castle.
Yeah, so that's like I feel like a big thing because people always want to walk into Cinderella Castle and you really can't.
You really can't unless you're having a dining reservation.
Yeah. So I like that a lot. And then the backside of Fantasyland is very reminiscent if you're familiar with old Fantasyland in Walt Disney World.
Yes.
That's a lot more how it is. Like there's, the Snow White ride, the Pinocchio ride that we talked about last week, Mr. Toad ride. Yes. So they have those, the teacups. My favorite ride in Fantasyland is Alice in Wonderland. Not the teacups, like the actual ride.
The ride through the story.
It's so cute. It's really
love
cute.
That.
And you get a little caterpillar and you go through the story.
No, it's a caterpillar. Okay, stop. That's actually so cute. Wait, what do you ride when you do Pinocchio?
I think it's like a little, like just like a wooden car type situation.
Terrifying.
Yeah. And then Snow White's is a mine car, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's on brand.
Yeah. So a caterpillar. So I love that. And then in Walt Disney World, Winnie the Pooh is in Fantasyland, but in Disneyland, Winnie the Pooh is back with Splash Mountain in Critter Country.
Critter Country.
I know, I'm screaming, crying, throwing up. I love it.
Wait, we haven't told everyone about screaming, crying, throwing up.
That's okay. We have to.
Okay. So Carter and I have honestly two phrases that we say all the time. Yeah. One is love it, love you.
Yeah.
And that's what we
did it earlier.
Yeah, we did. And that's how we typically end phone calls with each other. We're like, okay, love it, love you, have a good night, love you.
Yes.
Bye. Now, I know the Taylor Swift song is like screaming, crying, perfect storm. I can make all the tables turn. We love Taylor Swift here. I'm gonna say it again and again. But screaming, crying, throwing up. That's what we say when we're too excited, when we're scared, when we
don't know how to react.
It's the perfect explanation for any reaction. So screaming, crying, throwing up. Literally anytime we're texting each other or we're too excited or like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, screaming, crying, throwing up. Say that, we mean business.
Yes. So like I would put screaming, crying, throwing up with Cars Land, with Avengers Campus. Honestly, Pixar Pier.
Pixar Pier is screaming, crying, throwing up. 100%.
Critter Country. Winnie the Pooh.
Oh my gosh, we love Winnie the Pooh here. These two gals, Winnie the Pooh stands.
Winnie the Pooh. Yes.
I have said it once and I will say it 1,000 times. If/when I have a baby, my nursery will be classic Winnie the Pooh.
Me too.
100%. Or did you ever read the book Frog and Toad Are Friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Is that why in the last episode you said, I like frogs, I like toads, but I don't like Mr. Toad's Island?
Yes, I literally, and that brings us to one of the rides that's in Disneyland that's not in Disney World, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which is, I've never ridden it and I never will. You literally go to hell.
We talked about it last week, and we didn't even mean to. Like, we didn't have it on our list of attractions, but we just burst into talking about it because
it's terrifying. You go to hell.
It was. So fun fact with Carter. Did you know that in Winnie the Pooh, the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh in Walt Disney World, that used to be Mr. Toad's Wild
Ride.
So if you look, so in the scene when his house is kind of like moving side to side, like when the rain came down. If you turn and look, there's a picture of Mr. Toad handing the deed of the ride over to Owl.
No, screaming, crying, throwing up. That is the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Handing the deed. I can't. That is, and you know what? That I feel like is the perfect reason to say why we love the Disney parks and Disney destinations.
Yeah.
It's the little details that just make you feel warm and fuzzy and like you want to scream, like you want to cry, and like you want to throw up.
I really love the Winnie the Pooh area in Disneyland because it's a whole little corner. It's called Pooh Corner. There's a shop. Yes, there's a candy shop. They have your candy apples there.
You know how I feel about the candy shops in Disney.
Candy shop. They have a meet and greet, so it kind of like rotates of Pooh Bear.
Is it like the thoughtful spot at Disney World?
Yeah, but it's a little, it's not Pooh and Tigger, or at least it wasn't when I was there. Maybe it is now, but it was like, it rotated with Pooh or Tigger or Eeyore or Rabbit, and they kind of come and do meet and greets all day. And then there's the ride. And then it's literally like right behind Splash Mountain, soon to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but currently still Splash Mountain, is right back there. So
speaking of which, that is now a ride that is at Disneyland and is not at Disney World, Splash Mountain.
I know.
Carter gets to ride it one more time.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna shed tears.
Can you video it for me?
Yes.
Because I'm very excited about Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but I did have a soft spot in my heart for Splash Mountain.
I have a little, you can't really see it. Right there. Do you see it? This post.
Oh, your little Splash Mountain. Yes. It's a fun ride.
It has a special place in my heart. It was like my first big girl ride.
Me too.
And it's just, I love Zippity Doo-Dah. I'm a big Zippity Doo-Dah fan. Love that song. So I'm gonna cry, but it's gonna be great. And I always think, like, we literally talked about in the last podcast about the rides that were refurbished that we loved, like Mission Breakout, which is my favorite ride on the planet, which is the number one reason I'm excited about going, but we've already talked about that. I don't want to bore the people with me blabbering more about Mission Breakout.
This is our podcast.
We can do whatever the heck.
This is our podcast. We can do what we want.
But people were so mad about Tower of Terror, and
they were mad about Tower of Terror.
Incredible now.
I think it was a change for the better. So
yeah,
you know what? I am very excited to see Tiana's new Bayou Adventure. I think it's going to be really fun. And you know what? I think it'll be great. So I'm excited to see, especially with the new animatronics, all the details they're going to put into it. So we're going to see, when does it come out? Do we know?
It says late, like end of 2024.
So no, that's so long.
So I don't know how long Disneyland's Splash Mountain is going to be open, but it's going to be open when I'm there. And that's all that I care about at the moment. I get to go on it one more time.
What are some other rides that are at Disneyland, not Disney World? I know Grizzly River Run.
And California Adventure, yes. Disneyland Park actually has Toon Town.
Oh my gosh, wait, we got to talk about Toon Town.
You got to talk about Toon Town. And it's brand new.
We used to have Toon Town.
I know it. I remember Toon
It
Town.
was my favorite section. One of my earliest memories is walking through Minnie Mouse's house and you peep at the oven and the cake rises.
Yep.
And I remember looking at, was it Goofy or I think it was Goofy's house that had the seeds and the back gardening
Yep,
room.
garden. Goofy's garden.
I loved it so much and was heartbroken when they took it out.
Yeah.
So the fact that it came back to Disneyland makes me hopeful.
Yes.
Hopeful that maybe it'll come back to Disney World.
Well, and they opened a new little quick service restaurant, so I want to go and eat
The
there.
Daisy one. What's it called again?
I think it's just called like the Daisy Cafe or Daisy's Cafe.
You know what? I'm pretty sure it's Daisy's Cafe, something along those lines. And it's supposed to have really good fresh like wraps and options like that, which is similar to Daisy's quick service on the Disney Fantasy.
See, I would never know that.
Yeah. Well, you're the Disneyland gal, I'm the Disney Cruise gal.
That's right.
So it's perfect.
But and they have, so in Toon Town, they have all the houses. They have obviously meet and greets with all of our favorite classic characters. And
Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway.
They have Minnie Mickey's Runaway.
So on theme.
So on theme, so cute. And they have Gadget's Go Coaster, which is kind of like a Barnstormer equivalent.
Love Gadget's Go Coaster. It looks great. Also, fan of Rescue Rangers when I was a kid. So no,
okay.
to hear my singing voice.
I need you to tell me your thoughts on this, because my uncle told me, and I didn't know this, that Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, like, they are dressed up. Chip is dressed up like Indiana Jones, and Dale is dressed up like Magnum PI.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I love that so much.
Because you're just a little baby. You're so young. How would you know?
Well, Logan and I met Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers on our trip, on our last trip. And I was like, "Oh, you look like Indiana Jones," and he was like, "Yeah," and I was like,
"I am."
Cool.
Yeah, no, they're supposed to be Indiana Jones and Magnum PI.
I love that.
Isn't that so cute? The details.
It's so cute.
Wow. On that note, I guess my last question that I have for you, Carter, what are you most excited about for your Disneyland trip?
I'm so excited. I have a Steve Rogers full outfit. I have a Steve Rogers shirt. I have red shorts and Steve and Bucky Mickey ears.
No.
Yes, and then Olivia has a Bucky shirt, and we have the same Mickey ears, like the same matching ears, but I'm Steve and she's Bucky. And I am most excited about, hopefully, I'm so hopeful that he's going to be there, that we can meet
Probably will. Well, remember, I met Captain America there, so you probably will. Insert picture of me with Captain America.
Wait, I do have one too. I do have one of me and Captain America. But
okay, insert pictures of us with Captain America. 10 out of 10. Have we talked about how much we love Captain America?
We haven't, and I could just talk all day about how much we love Captain America.
And that man will defend our country and defend me.
I would like to say that the last time that I met Captain America was kind of towards the end of COVID, so we were still social distancing with the characters. So I didn't get to like hug him or anything. And so it was kind of like for me, like it was kind of like, well, how do we, because usually you go up and you hug and you kind of talk and then you pose. So it was a little bit different. So he asked me what my name was.
Carter.
Carter, just like Miss Peggy Carter. And he like laughed and looked down, like kind of like this. I'll never get over it. And I have a picture of that.
Okay, wow. I would have just collapsed on the spot. And like,
I give Zach the best husband award because he waited an hour with me to meet him.
An hour? I waited maybe 15 minutes.
The line was not an hour. I waited an hour for him to come out. And then I was like second in line.
No, really?
asked a cast member, I was like, listen, I was like, I know
I need to
I
know.
know this, and I was like, but this is my last day here, and I need to know if Captain Rogers is coming out today.
Captain Rogers.
Because they have because Captain America is Sam and Steve. So I was like, I love Sam, but I want
We need Steve.
and she kind of like looked at me, and I was wearing my Captain America shirt, and she was kind of like, you should stick around for another hour. And I was like, great.
Thank you.
I will.
I will. Thank you. This exact spot.
I did. And Zach has a video on his phone of me, like, I see Captain America and I grab him and I like the same thing I did with Guardians of the Galaxy. I just go.
You left him in your dust. Yep.
So I'm most excited about being there with Olivia because she also joins in our love for Steve. She does love Bucky more, but she does love Steve. So
listen, we can excuse that.
and I love Bucky.
Love Bucky.
Yeah, I do.
I love a good boy. I know that a lot of girls are like, I like bad boys. I never liked bad boys. I was always like, I want the nerd who follows the directions.
Steve.
Literally, like, even with my husband, that man is a rule follower.
Yeah.
That man, by the book. You love a man who follows the rules. I'm not a bad boy gal. So if you like Bucky and you like bad boys, good for you. I'm with Steve.
I stand Steve.
Well, I thought you were going to say Mission Breakout.
Well,
but
I was about to conclude.
My bad. I will let you finish. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
What I'm most excited about, and truthfully in my heart most excited about, is riding Mission Breakout and seeing my little baby Rocket Raccoon. I'm so excited.
Rocket Raccoon.
Rocket Raccoon. So I'm very excited for that. I'm excited to take Zach back to Cars Land. I'm excited to take Olivia for her first time ever. There's a lot that I am very, very, very excited about. So I will take lots of pictures and I will share lots of stories and hopefully come back with a new picture of me and Steve.
Well, Carter, I hope you have a wonderful birthday trip to Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure. With that, this is the Bibbidi Bobbidi Blondes podcast. I'm Savannah.
And I'm Carter.
Love it. Love you.
See you next Wednesday.